And this is my review for Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Junkheap. Junkheap, as you can see, is a repaint of the Transformers Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar mold. And I must say, I don't own the original Wreck-Gar figure, as I've said several times, but I do own this guy, and I can say, having him, I can say that the Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar mold is a very, very nice mold. I really, really like this guy. I'll get that right out of the way. I think he's a really cool figure. Anyway, as you can see, he is a motorcycle, much like all the other Junkions were in the original cartoon. It's not exactly what the original Junkions transformed into. It is a little bit more of an Earth motorcycle than the original Junkion motorcycle, but it does still look really, really nice. I really like the look of it, and I love the color scheme. I just absolutely love it. I know a lot of people were complaining about how it is all over the place, but personally, to me, that's what a Junkion should be in terms of colors. I think it should be all over the place. So I really love this mismatch of colors. It's got red, it's got bright yellow, it's got orangish yellow, it's got red, it's got silver, it's got black. It's just really nice to me. I really, really like it. And I also do like how they kind of lessen the gloss on the back, so when you transform it, one foot looks less glossy than the other, or one leg, rather. But one leg ends up looking more glossy than the other in robot mode, which I thought was a nice touch. Very, very cool. The only complaint I really have about the color scheme is this Autobot symbol right here, since technically, if he's a Junkion, he really shouldn't have any faction symbol, even though the Junkions were allied with the Autobots, but I understand why they put it there, just to make it a little bit more easily identifiable for the kids, but still, I think it would have been nice if they had just left it out entirely, but oh well. You could take it off, I guess, but it does seem like the silver paint right here would rub off with it, so that's why I haven't taken it off yet, but anyway. Not a whole lot to say about in terms of features. It is a motorcycle, so there's not a whole lot you can incorporate. It does roll. Again, I've never really understood why that's important to somebody for a motorcycle transformer to roll, since if you roll it along, it is just going to end up tipping over to one side, so, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it does roll, so I guess it is nice. He does have a kickstand, as you can see. I mean, you really do need to use it in bike mode. There's really no other way you can get him to stand otherwise, just due to the way that it transforms. But still, very, very nice that they incorporated a kickstand. I would be careful with these handlebars. At least on mine, when I got it out of the box, one of these handlebars actually broke off. And it wasn't the actual handlebar piece, it was the plastic around it. It just cracked in two. Luckily, it still managed to hang on and I was able to super glue it and still have the handlebar rotate left and right. But I would be really, really careful with the plastic on these handlebars, since it does seem a little bit brittle, at least on mine, but anyway. Also, I should mention he is very, very big for a deluxe class vehicle mode, and that's really because, as you can see, there's two little grooves here, and you can take your Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar or your eHobby exclusive Scrap Heap, and you can actually have one of them mount this guy and ride him, which I think is kind of neat. I can't wait to get Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar to mount on him to ride him. I'll definitely show that off in my review of him, but anyway, I thought that was really, really neat. Now for his transformation. His transformation, particularly for a bike transformer, is extremely weird. With most bike transformers, if you've ever noticed, usually the arms are formed out of the back, the legs are formed out of the front, and the chest is formed out of the it's usually formed out of the middle. With this guy, that's almost totally reversed. The front and back both end up becoming his arms, or legs rather. The front becomes his arms. The side piece actually ends up becoming his chest, which is just a weird transformation, but it's really, really nice. I really like his transformation. To start it off, you want to go ahead and pull this piece off. This will form his weapon later on in robot mode, but we'll get to that. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and untab this piece, like so. I should mention, when you transform this guy back into vehicle mode, this piece can be a real pain to get to tab together properly, which is a bit of a shame, but oh, what are you going to do? Then what you want to do is you want to untab his arms together, or untab them from being together, is what I mean, like so. Then what you want to do is you want to go up here, and you want to split this whole assembly, which can be a little bit difficult. It does tab in rather tightly. But if you get it like that, get it so that you can bring it up like so. Go ahead and fold the wheel up and tab it in. Then straighten out one leg, then push up and straighten out the other. Then what you want to do is you want to take these yellow pieces right here, and you want to push them together. It can be a little bit tricky to get them out, to get them to unpeg when you're transforming them back into vehicle mode. What I usually do is I usually grab them by the yellow pieces rather than pull on the leg. I find that works better, but it is kind of a matter of personal preference and really according to your figure how you can get those out the best. But anyway, I'll go ahead and rotate this whole assembly around like so. Then you want to take his foot right here, and you want to push it up. And it's kind of neat because, as you can see, this piece automatically morphs up as you fold up the leg, or foot rather, and the handlebars go to be flush against his leg, which I thought was kind of a neat touch. Then you want to take this foot, you want to splay it open, and then just get him to stand straight. Then what you want to do, you want to go and fold down the kickstand. Then you want to tab these pieces in. These will form his arms. Yeah, like I said, it can be a little bit tricky to get this guy to stand completely straight just because he is a little bit asymmetrical, which is kind of weird, but, it is very fitting for a Junkion, so, you kind of have to deal with it, and it is a very, very nice touch on Hasbro's part. But anyway, then you want to straighten out the arm, and then with this piece, you can untab it, and you can, if you want, tab it in to the arm itself, but I find that limits motion in the arm, so I usually just leave it right behind his elbow, and I think that looks best. You can actually, it is on a ball joint, so you can, if you want, just pop it right off, but I usually keep it on, just because I think it looks better on than it does off. But anyway, do the same on this side, straighten that up, and then just flip up his head, and his little neck piece. Then for his weapon, what you want to do is you want to take it, you want to straighten it out, and then you want to take the spikes on the axe, and you want to flip them up and around until they lock into place to form his axe, which is kind of cool. And then just hide this, or rather not hide, fold up this 3mm clip port just to get it out of the way. Then put it in his hand. And there you have Junkheap in robot mode. And he looks really, really nice. Like I said, I just love the asymmetrical look that they gave him. I thought that was a wonderful touch by Hasbro to make the Junkion asymmetrical, because it is very fitting for a Junkion, as I've said several times. Anyway, posability is very, very good. His head is on a ridiculously free ball joint. I just love how free this ball joint is. It's really, really nice. He does have ball jointed shoulders. On this side, they're a little bit limited by the whole motorcycle wheel assembly, but you still can get some poses out of him. On this arm, it's really just entirely free, but on this arm, it is a little bit limited. He does have a bicep swivel, which is nice. He does have an elbow joint. It's a single elbow joint, but it does, just due to the way that it transforms, have the motion of a double-jointed elbow, which is nice. He does have a ball joint inside his chest, so he does turn at the waist, and he does have a little bit of an ab crunch, but it's really not that useful. It really just functions as a waist joint, which is nice. He does have ball-jointed hips. Rather, they're not ball-jointed. They are just hinge hips, but they do have the full range of a ball joint, which is nice. He does have a single joint on this knee, and then he's got a double joint on this knee, but that's really just due to the transformation for that leg. They really accomplish about the same motion, so it's a little bit limited in terms of what you can do with it. He does have ball-jointed feet. This foot actually has a little hinge right here in the back foot, in the back of the foot, to accommodate a little bit more poses and kind of help out with that asymmetry to make him stand completely straight. This foot is also ball jointed, but it doesn't have the hinge in it, so it is a pretty nicely posed figure. I really, really like the amount of poses you can get this guy into. They can be really, really wacky and really creative, which again I think is very, very nice for a Junkion figure. I also should point out, this is really my main complaint with the figure in robot mode. Otherwise, I don't really have a whole lot of complaints. As you can kind of see with his head is actually made, the back of it is actually entirely translucent plastic, but they decided to paint the eyes red, and they really did a poor job on it. It just looks absolutely awful. Unfortunately, you really can't see it that well, but it just looks terrible. I really don't like the look of it. What I'm probably going to end up doing is taking the head apart and then just painting the whole clear piece with a red Sharpie to give him red eyes to kind of accomplish that effect. But really, just really bad on Hasbro's part. I really didn't like that. That was my only real major complaint about Robot Mode, was those really crappily painted eyes. But anyway, otherwise, I just think it's a really, really nice little figure. I think it's really cool. Anyway, for some quick size comparisons, if I can get him to stand straight. Like I said, the asymmetry, while it is nice, can be a little bit of a pain on occasion when you're trying to get him to stand straight, but oh well. I'd rather have him be a little bit difficult to stand straight than not have the asymmetry, since, as I've said several times, it is very nice for a Junkion figure. Anyway, first off, here he is next to Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. And you can see, you know, he is a little bit taller than the average deluxe. Not by much, but he is still a little bit taller, which is nice. Very, very cool. Very nicely scaled. And also, I'm not going to compare him to the whole Season 3 team. I might when I finally do my review of Reveal the Wreck-Gar. But for now, I'm just going to pose him next to Cup, and also next to Hot Rod, Rodimus, whatever you want to call them. And you can see they are in very, very nice scale with each other. I think that's how they were in scale in the cartoon, so that is very, very nice. So overall, yeah, a really, really nice repaint. I really like this guy. I definitely highly recommend you get the Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar mold as well, but definitely pick up this guy if you haven't had a chance to pick up the mold at all yet. This guy's actually not that hard to find. I've seen a lot of him over my area, so he does appear to be relatively easy to find, so definitely go check out your local Target. Target in particular seems to stock them a lot, so definitely check out your Target if you're looking for this guy. But anyway, there you go. I'm going to look at Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Junkheap. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.